After being cancelled for the previous 2 years, the Nuremberg Toy Fair was back in 2023. As we walk to the entrance, we see this new release of a Volvo wheel loader in what seems to be a very large scale, and you have to wonder how the man from UPS will be able to get it delivered. With that said, let's go into the Toy Fair. As before, there's a wide range of things can be seen, and here's a collection of military models, but in reality there were fewer exhibiting companies this year. In terms of modelling, there were some interesting things to see in their place, and there were a number of detailed funfair models. In a small scale, these featured lots of working rides and flashing lights, and there was also a giant funfair display. This has a staggering amount of detail, including vast crowds of people, and you can imagine the man-hours that went into producing this. There were also larger scale funfair models on display. In terms of die-cast models, it was good to see that NZG had their usual stand, and some new models were there to be seen. The Liebherr 8130 crawler crane was announced at Bauma, but on display here it comes with 3 different attachments. An unusual small model is this Schwing self-loading mixer. In 1:87 scale is this new Kona Cranes Gottwald mobile harbour crane, and in this small scale it's still a very big model. But of course all things are relative, and a really big model is the Liebherr LR 11000 crawler crane. This was announced at Bauma, and there's some interesting news about it which is in the separate NZG interview video. And in that video, Mark Ludwig of NZG discusses this model and all of the new releases at the Toy Fair. Also looking really good was this study of a 1:18 scale low loader and excavator. These are printed models in fact, and it will be interesting to see if they ever get to a die-cast stage. Other exhibitors were showing detailed models such as these ships. This is a warship, and the second one is a rather older warship, and it's modelled after HMS Victory. Here am I when I discovered that WSI models were not exhibiting at this year's show. And with warfare in mind, there were large remote-controlled tank models. These are made by Tamiya, and just to keep you on your toes, they had one wandering around the exhibition floor. Also from Tamiya is this impressive Scania 770S. This is also radio controlled, and they had it running around their test track. Elsewhere on display was a complete tunnelling worksite, and it is complete with rotating cutter heads on the TBMs. There was even an underground tunnel boring machine at work. In fact, in these small scales there's a lot of automation possible, and there were a number of exhibits where vehicles with working lights were running around. It's all impressive stuff, and the routes of the vehicles are all controlled by computer. And for this display you could see the computer screen working with the vehicles going around. Well, I guess it's better than just pushing a vehicle along the cranes etc. test track. Now here's something interesting. Don't you think this would be great to have at a business meeting? Still going strong are the high precision working steam models, and even if you don't fire them up, they do look great in a display case. Buried away on the Universal Hobbies stand were some new prototype Komatsu models, but at least they were at the show, because also absent was IMC models and Conrad in addition to WSI. One company that was at the show though was Diecast Masters, and as usual they have a range of new models to discuss. And you can hear a lot more about them in the separate Diecast Masters video interview. Model trains have always been a strong part of the Toy Fair experience, and the quality of many of them is superb. In addition to the movement, they have a full range of sound effects to match. Although WSI models were absent from the show, one person who was present was Bruce Hay of Drake Collectibles, and you can see an interview with Bruce in a separate video. As usual, Conrad models were not at the Toy Fair, but they did announce some models. A number are colour variants, and it's interesting to see a big heavy haulage set, and there's also a new load, and that should interest truck fans. Also brand new is a new Sandvik drill, and it's been a while since we've seen a release of a Sandvik model. Here I am again, and you can see more of me and the Toy Fair in the separate Toy Fair interview videos. So that completes this overview of Toy Fair 2023. Not yet back to full steam, and we'll have to see next year if the Toy Fair is on an upward or downward trend.